Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Today we're in the Harrier T10. It's a very special edge GR7, basically. It's kind of like the old GR7 where you only get the 9Ls. You get a lot of BOL countermeasures. You get 4 9Ls. I am bringing the 2 Mavs for funny purposes. If I see an A10, I'll sling them off at them, see if I can get a funny kill. You do get the 25mm Aidens, which are really good guns. You pull a lot of AoA. You're slow. You do bleed quite a bit of speed too, obviously. I mean, you are pulling a lot of AoA. You are, doing things relatively quickly. I'm going to try and slide him behind this F4E here because he might not cut Burner to Flare or 9L, or he might just do something stupid. He flares immediately, unfortunately, so he does manage to flare. We do get Moors on this thing, which is quite nice. There is another missile behind me that I saw. Yeah, as I said, you are slow. You're not really going to catch anyone, which is a bit of an issue. You got to kind of wait for people to come to you, which is, big downside of the plane. It's not the most fun playstyle in the world. Actually, it's a pretty boring one, in my opinion. Although we do get to do stuff like this, where you just pull a shit ton of AoA, and then you can pull in over the top of them, and then they just fly away, and you're too slow to actually catch up to them. Peak Harrier gaming, but eventually you'll get that one specimen who's too stupid to dodge a 9L after you've forced them to overshoot. Or you get the one which just, sustain dogfights you and they just lose because you're VTOL. You can do the funny. You can pitch your nozzles downwards and you can just stand on your own engines and you just win fights like that by sitting inside of that turn. It's quite funny, but it doesn't really happen all that often. Most of your games are probably not going to be amazing, I'm not going to lie. I have had the GR7 for quite a while now. I am very experienced as to how it flies, and that is not particularly well for ARB anymore, unfortunately. You could also try to climb higher and dump off your 9Ls from higher altitude, which is a viable strategy considering you are, you do get a lot of countermeasures, you get the BOL pods, so that is a thing that you can do. But I still kind of prefer to just sort of fly in a bit lower. I think it's a bit of a lower risk playstyle as opposed to trying to climb high. There is an A10 over here, but I think he's just going to straight die to an IR. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he does. Okay, well, in that case, I guess we go for this guy, this F5 here. He's kind of slow. I'm not going to get a Mav out on him. Actually, no, I'm not going to. Not going to talk about that. We're just going to pretend that it does not exist. I forget these guns are super bizarre to it. They're super high velocity. They're the highest velocity in the game, or at least one of them. So you can actually, just point and click instead of actually trying to lead like I did there. And unfortunately, my team... fuck, that's a 9L. We're fine. We're chilling. Fortunately, my teammate was in the way of me trying to lead my guns there, so he just sort of died. There you go. You just point and click like that. It's a lot... much heavier reduced lead than you think it actually is. And I almost just die in the... okay, that's cool. First A10 bombs us, and then we don't die to the bombs. On the second one, we just trade with gunshots, but mine does nothing. His does something. This has been a very cursed game overall. Not really much else to say. You also don't have a lot of ammo as well, so that is another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, this plane is scuffed, man. The GR7 used to be really fun, but now it's not it. It's really not it anymore. Of course, there's going to be the people who say, oh, I get 10 kill games all the time in this thing, and you're just bad at the game, you're negative in every blah, blah, blah. You're going to get that with literally every plane, so I wouldn't really recommend this thing. It's not a super consistent grinder. You can get good games in it, just like you can get good games in every plane, but what makes a grinder a good grinder is how, often those good games you're getting are. How consistently you can do well in it. And with this thing, the answer is, not a lot, because you get some funky shit happening. Not only are you too slow to actually be able to run people down, so you kind of you're waiting for people to engage them on their terms, unless it's like an A10, obviously. And as well as that, you're in a bit of a funky spot, because you've got to kind of make the 9L kit and gun kit work with reduced ammo and blah, blah, blah. It also looks dumb. It looks dumb as fuck. I hate the forehead. The forehead looks so stupid, man. I actually just can't get over how stupid it is. The GR7, actually a beautiful aircraft, one of the best looking Britain has ever produced. This thing, it's an abomination unto God. Why did you put the second guy in the back? I know it's a trainer, but why, man? You had something amazing going, and then you ruined it. You made it look dumb. I don't even have gun rounds to take the head on here. I guess I just bait him. That worked. You know what? This game has just been dumb. This whole game has been dumb. Nothing normal has happened here. That's never gonna connect, right? Yeah, sad. Whatever, that would have been funny. It was not meant to be, though, so very unfortunate. F5 tries to pull in for the gunshot. He does not get it. He does not 180. Thank you. All right, we're just going to go back around over this way, see if we can find anyone. The MiG-21 has 180'd us. What a shock. Was it always the MiG-21 players, man? I swear. It now thinks his flares are a missile. Ooh. Please. Please get him. Please get him. No, it missed. Very sad. We're just going to go around and over the top. MiG-21 is going to pull in for us here, probably. We're just going to roll up and over his guns. Just like that. This A-10 is looking very clueless. We're going to fire one at him. It probably won't connect. Just, never mind. I shouldn't even speak too soon. It's just A-10 players being, you know, A-10 players. MiG-21 is still behind us. He very much wants us dead. So that's interesting. I'm going to sling one here because we can. He has a ton of flares, though. I tried to actually pull lead for the shot there again. He's going to try and get a gun reversal in. We're just going to pull around the gun so he does not get that in. He should get cleaned up by our teammates. The other one does, which is nice. We have another A-10 coming in here. The MAV would have been lovely on this guy, but that's fine. He's probably going to, pull in for the last second. We don't hit that shot, unfortunately. We were a little bit too low on the lead. He is going to be trying to pull around for a dogfight. I can literally just go up and over, so I'm not really sure what his goal is with this. We now can just simply pull back down and get right behind him. Just like so. I'm actually going to use the thrust vectoring here. He's going to hit the ground. Very smart. I mean, the 10 in A-10 is the number of brain cells they have, so it's not entirely surprising. We are actually going to get engaged by a competent fighter, though, which is a little bit of an issue. So we're just going to sort of pull just enough so we can't quite get a shot in. I need to build speed up here. I can't just, like, aggressively pull in for another round on him. The F-111 does not go for us, thankfully. He does decide to piss off for someone else, which is nice. My engine is cooking itself as well. Another thing to note, keep the engine on 95% power and not 110 or 100 the entire game, or it will just cook itself alive, so remember that. I am super used to holding burner the entire game. Like, my pinky finger just has, like, a natural habit of going to shift now. So I'm probably going to inevitably, like, accidentally cook it several times while I play this thing, because, you know, that's just what happens when I play one of these. But that's fine. F-111 is remarkably slow here. We are just going to fire a burst on the head on it. We do connect it because I have used these guns a fair amount to the point where I know more or less what I'm doing with them. He is trying to shoot Mavs, I think, at us. Whoop, he manages to pass through our gun dispersion. Not gun dispersion, like, you know how when guns fire, they don't, like, it's not just like a continuous stream of bullets, there's, like, tiny gaps, timings. It was in between the timing of the guns firing, which is a little unfortunate, otherwise we could have got a very easy kill there. Had I not just held the trigger and actually timed the shot properly, I probably could have got a fairly easy kill there, but it is what it is, it's fine. You kind of got to capitalize on everything in this plane, and if that means almost going full commit into somebody for the head-on kill, I'm gonna probably do it, so... Not a fully full commit, but like a half full commit. Whatever. Either way, we win the game. 2 9Ls left. We just didn't really get within range of enough people, even though I did want to find the little A-10 children on the ground so I can go bully them. Alright, so we are unfortunately now in a up tier. I think it's, partial up tier. Any game where you see 12.0, that is actually kind of scary, because now you have phantoms with pulse Doppler radars, among other things, which are kind of a bit spooky. MiG-23s are also not great. I don't think that's at me. I'm just going to keep pre-chaffing because this MiG-23 is going to probably try and get a radar missile off. Nope, it was IR. We do flare it perfectly on time. Least predictable head-on taker, and he's going to try and immediately 180, I bet. F-117 gets slammed, MiG-23 gets slammed. We don't get to see whether he does or not. There's an EJ up in space. He's just sort of vibing. These are the games where you're not really gonna get very much done unless you get a little bit lucky, because like the speed problem from earlier is now compounded. Everybody is much, much quicker than you, and that becomes, you know, an issue quite quickly. So you kind of have to rely on your missiles quite a bit more, but then your missiles are only 9Ls. You don't get the funny 9Ms from the GR7. So yeah, yeah, good luck, basically. Have fun. SU-17 is pre-flaring properly, so I can't get a 9L off on him, unfortunately. We can go for the gunshot, which we do hit, but it just didn't really do anything because these guns have the damage profile of like a potato. I don't know, I was trying to think of something, but I couldn't, you know, do the thinking part of it. We do miss all of our shots there. I was trying to pull too much lead. Bunch of MiG-21s behind us, trying to sling missiles. They do, in fact, break off. Oh, yep, well, there's the phantoms I was talking about. F4J in space, unfortunately, does shoot a missile at us. We didn't get RWR alert until last second. It was already way too late. Unfortunate. Anyways, yeah, if you do get up tier, you're fucked. Good luck. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this plane. It's very, very dull, very weighty. I probably don't buy it. If you want it for ground, sure, it's somewhat fun for ground if you can avoid the pansiers. But it's not really it. It's a Harrier. I love Harriers, but I really can't in good conscience recommend this, unfortunately. So, also the GR1 just looks so much better. God, this thing is sexy.